Welcome to Wingin' It with Wingo with me as your host, Derek Wingo, where we're bringing Gator Nation closer to their athletes through weekly deep dives and into player stories with exclusive behind-the-scenes access. Welcome to Wingin' It with Wingo with your host, Derek Wingo, brought to you by Florida Victorious. We're bringing a little bit about getting to know your athletes and some behind-the-scenes access. If you don't know too much about Florida Victorious, they offer memberships from $15 to $250 a month that helps support us, helps us do things like this, and just experience things outside of just playing sports. So thank you, Florida Victorious, and we'll kind of jump right into it. I'm kind of super excited, actually, to have George Gumbs on the show later today, but I got your fun fact for you. First time in rival history, the Gators and the Seminoles started both a true freshman at quarterback. Both quarterbacks were actually 5 stars in high school, but I'm pretty sure I know which quarterback I'm taking. I'm pretty sure most of those recruits have flipped anyways too. But anyways, rival week. Wow. We'll get right into the rival week. Looking back at it, crazy games this weekend. A bunch of crazy, all the different flag plants, all the different scuffles, and all the different, teams that, may not think or have the lower record and the higher record. But when it becomes to be a rivalry game, all that goes out the window. I was talking to some guys about the OSU and Michigan rivalry, and it's something different. It doesn't matter what your record is throughout the entire season. If you win that game, it's like your season is, kind of complete. So those are definitely things that you look forward to the entire year. And it was something to watch this past weekend. Obviously, the scuffles after the game, that's not something that you want. That's not something that you're like kind of going for, not the type of image that you want to put out as your team. But it brings a little bit of emotion to the game, right? Shows how much we actually care and how much is put into it, all the hard work, sweat, and tears. And you got to live with that for 365 days, until you play that team again. You got to live with, what happened on that Saturday out in the field. And I know I definitely did last year when we played Florida State in the swamp. You got to see some of those guys cutting up the grass after the game, but it felt good to get our get back, right? All this stuff, having an amazing performance over the team out west in Tallahassee, getting that win, finishing this regular season off strong. Another cool thing that we got to see was the 8 overtimes in the Georgia game. We actually got to watch that from our hotel room, kind of sitting there. We all stayed up. We're all kind of sitting in our hotel and watching them. I was hoping Georgia Tech pulled that one off. Hats off to Haynes King. I mean, guy's a competitor. Guy played super hard. They changed the actually overtime rules. I think it was after actually the Texas A&M LSU game. It ended up being 74-72 or something. That went to 7 overtimes. But now it's like the 2-point conversions back-to-back once it gets to the third overtime. But that was definitely a cool one to watch. And it kept us up all night. It kind of got us fired up. Talk a little bit about the FSU game, right? It was freezing. It is freezing down here in Florida right now. Maybe not for some of you guys, but definitely for some of us guys that are from Florida. I talked to some guys and they were laughing at us because we're getting ready for the game and they had all our cold gear, right? The thicker tights, the thicker long sleeves, the hand warmers, the heat and stuff. And, some people that are from up north are looking at us like, you guys look like you're ready to go play in the snow. And we're like, no, we're freezing. I think it was like 30-something degrees. And, we had the little heated benches and we had the things we could put our helmets on that heated up a little bit. But, man, it gets cold. I was talking to somebody else, too. Like, your helmets, when they're sitting out in the cold, the pads on it just become rock hard. So, that was definitely something for the Florida boys had to kind of get over and definitely felt a little bit of that cold, especially when you're going in and hitting people on pads. All right, got to bring them up again, the defense. Gosh, the past couple weeks, our defense has been absolutely outstanding. I think we had 14 tackles for losses, 8 sacks, 6 fumble recoveries. We talked earlier in the year just about, always wanting to have depth, right? Guys who, work hard and do everything the right way. And then just, everyone's bought in, not just into these coaches, but bought into each other. And I think, that is a stepping stone for the guys next year and just building off of that. We worked so hard this year, been through so much adversity and everything that we've kind of overcome. And, to be able to finish the season strong is exactly what we need and exactly the type of momentum that needed to go into next year. So I was super excited just to see the way that, the guys have bought in and just the way they've been able to perform the last couple of weeks. And I'm sure that's going to continue on, especially now going in and waiting for the bowl game kind of to pop up. The transfer portal has opened, right? You get to see some of this stuff on Twitter, and this is for all of college football, right? It's all over the place. And then sometimes when you see it, it's sad to see, right? Especially if it's somebody that you know and you trained with the entire year, have been there for a couple years. But at the end of the day, you got to kind of think of it. these guys are trying to make the best decision for themselves so they get either more playing time. Now there's NIL, so it makes it a little bit different. So it is sad to see, there'll be some guys that are entering the transfer portal and leaving, not just here at the University of Florida, at plenty of other schools, guys that'll be transferring in. So it's all about, just, wishing them the best, hoping that they stay healthy, hoping that they get the playing time that they deserve, and just, playing to the best of their ability, figuring out who they are at, not just as a person, but as a player. And, when those new guys do come in, just, welcoming them in and getting to show them, what the atmosphere is like, what the culture is like, and the standard to be upheld for the next upcoming season. The bowl games. We find out this Sunday, actually, which bowl game we're going to be in. We actually have no idea. I know there's been a couple of different speculations of what it might be. I know that's a game over in Jacksonville. There's been the Gasparilla one in Tampa. There's been the one in Memphis. So we actually don't know. We find out on Sunday right after kind of all the championship games played this weekend. Because, that might, whether or not who wins or loses, that can alter some of the different kind of stuff. But we're excited, just to have the opportunity to, practice and train for another month with this group of guys that, you've worked so hard with, to have that extra opportunity, to go out and play another football game. And especially guys who are seniors who they know that, this is their last chance to play as a Florida Gator, the last chance to have, that Gators jersey on one last time. It's a blessing to be able to have that as almost like a reward. And you get that week, actually, for the bowl games when you travel there. You get to hang out there, with all your guys. You get to go to dinners, have team activities. So it's not something that's always, football when you are there at the bowl game. But you get to just have some quality time with your guys and then get to go play the game you love. So we're super excited that. I'm actually hoping that it's down in Tampa. We'll get to see our boy Ric Flair. He's a huge Gators fan that always supports us. I'm hoping that is in Tampa, but, just to have this opportunity in general, just to have a bowl game is absolutely amazing. But when we come back, we'll have George Gumbs to talk a little bit about, his transition from transferring from another school to the University of Florida, and then him just having his first year, finishing his regular season. Obviously, you guys all know, number 34, it's been an absolute animal for us, this year. Just his energy, the way he plays with emotion. So I'm super excited to be able to sit down and have a chat with him about it right when we come back. Welcome back to Wingin' with Wingo. Got my special guest today here. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? I'm George Gumbs, number 34 from Chicago, Illinois.
Outside linebacker. Yeah. All right, George, we'll jump right into it. Coming out of high school, going to Northern Illinois first, and then going to the transfer portal and coming to the University of Florida, right? What was that kind of like jumping into the portal? Did you know kind of where you wanted to go, or did Florida reach out, or kind of that transition?
When I first hopped into the portal, it was like, I really wasn't thinking about Florida at all. So, my first plan was to go to Cincinnati. I was set in stone, almost put no contact. So, But I did it to just to see who was going to hit me up. Once Florida hit me up, I did not know, they were serious. I'm like, Florida? Florida Gators. I was kind of surprised, so I kind of left it alone. But, once I went through the process and actually came down here, I'm like, okay. That's where I want to be.
Playing in the SEC.
I like this. I'm like, I could do this.
Playing in the SEC is definitely something you dream of, growing up, playing in those big-time games, obviously. And then you got to experience that this year, right? Having your first year at the University of Florida, just finished the regular season.
Yeah.
What was that kind of like, just experiencing, your first Gator walk, your first Tom Petty song going in the fourth quarter? Did you expect, tens of thousands of people at Gator walk, or how crazy the atmosphere was?
I didn't know what to expect, really. I always seen, pictures and stuff, so it was just crazy getting off that bus and seeing all the fans and stuff. It was like, dang, I like this. I could do this all the time. I could do this
every week.
Yeah. But yeah.
I didn't expect it either when I was, when I first got here. And that's been the thing that, I look forward to every week. Going on Gator Walk, the Tom Petty song. Obviously, I got to experience my last Tom Petty song in the Swamp on the field a couple of weeks ago. So it's definitely something that I always remember and cherish for those moments.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to address it. Right. So if you guys don't know, George Gumbs is the original, not the original, but the official flag planter last week during the game. Take me through kind of, that kind of what kind of transpired, and then just, did you understand the rivalry? Me being from Florida, it's a little bit different, but, you just getting here, the rivalry between these Florida schools, especially, the team out west, Florida State and Florida.
Oh, yeah, I definitely understood the rivalry. I definitely just fed off my teammates' energy. I seen how much y'all didn't like them. Kind of got to the point I don't like them at all either. So, after I did what I did on the field, and it was just a way to set it in stone and plant that flag.
Yeah, no, I got, last year they had this stuff where, I don't know if you got to see it, but where like Verse and Trey Benson, they cut out part of the field where we played here in the swamp. So that was definitely something that was big for me. That hit home and hit hard for me to be like, hey, like, when I grew up, it was Florida State and Florida, and like to go out with a big win against them, finishing off the regular season strong was definitely huge for me. So I applaud you and I thank you for that one, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
no doubt. Your coach, Mike P. Got to talk about him. The legacy that he's had, everything that he did at the University of Florida and at the next level. What's it like, kind of being coached by him, and then just having like a younger guy like that with energy every day?
I mean, it's fun. He always bring the energy to the table. Like so even the days we don't really have the energy in the meeting room. By the time we get to the field, it's almost time to go. We always gonna showcase what we got to do, and then our room is just like it's so fun because it's so competitive. It's like we don't have that one single guy like okay he's the one. Yeah. Everybody that's in rotation. There's guys that can go in the field and make plays, so that kind of motivate us to all right, let me get out here and go make some plays.
Yeah. No, exactly, definitely. And it's always funny. We always laugh at it because we're in the room next to you guys. Yeah. So the linebackers, we're always quiet and doing stuff, and we just hear you guys and Mike P getting all rowdy and stuff in there. But, you talked about just, you, TJ Searcy, Jack Pyburn, all the three of you guys are just in there, rotating. You guys, when you guys get in there, you guys are making plays, making an impact. And I think that's the amazing part of just, being at an amazing SEC school like that, knowing that you have great depth and you have guys that are going in at all parts of the game, be able to make big-time plays. So that's definitely something that that stands out, and that's something that's good in the SEC, especially here at the University of Florida. All right, I talked to Mike P a little while ago as well. Okay. Mike P thinks he's still got some in the tank. You think he could still go suit it up for a little bit and do some?
He could probably – I'll give him –
a drive?
I'll give him a nice drive.
A drive?
5 hard plays.
5 hard
ones.
He'll get out the stack and run to the ball.
Oh, yeah. 5 hard plays.
If he were to play on our defense right now, you think he could keep up with us?
For a couple plays.
Yeah,
might need a rotation. Get out, get some water, come back in. But
get him some knee braces. Yeah. He's getting a little old now, but he might still have it. All right, obviously, you're an animal in the weight room, right? The transition with Coach Miles coming in, what's that kind of like? Obviously, you being at a smaller school and now being the SEC school, right? I love being coached by Coach Miles and just the program that they have for us. Not just the running, but the lifting, the body comps and all the stuff we do with Coach Jake. What's it like being coached by Coach Miles and just, all the stuff that we do for our bodies to kind of take care of it?
Yeah, I feel like it's not that different from my old school, but what I would say, like the science part, from the body comps, the catapults, like our numbers and our decels and, top speeds.
Yeah.
We didn't have that much detail at my old school, like as far as technology-wise, but like here we have all of that, so we know like how much work to do. Yeah. So like I'll probably say that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a big difference knowing that, especially with the catapults, we'll say, hey, your load's a little bit too high. We got to take it off you a little bit the next day of practice. And I think I love doing the body comps. When they tell you, when you're in season and out of season, how much, body fat you have, their muscle mass that you're gaining and losing, what parts of your body you need to work on. So I think that's definitely something that is huge. And obviously we have the nutrition stuff with Jake coming from the NFL, all that kind of stuff. So are you one of those like healthy eater guys? I know I got to see on TikTok, it was DJ Metcalf and Jamar Chase. They're one of those like chips and Skittles guys every day. Are you a chips and Skittles guy or are you eating healthy?
Okay, here we go. I eat healthy. My only healthiest meal is probably breakfast and lunch. We get to dinner and snack. Like once that sun go down, it's bad. Wings, Wingstop, Oreos. I like all types of cookies. So cereal, insomnia cookies. Those my things. You'll catch me.
Insomnia cookies. Those are huge ones.
You'll catch me ordering a nice 6-pack of cookies with a glass of milk almost every other night,
So Fridays after the team meal, we come back down there getting the 3 scoops of ice cream. You're getting all the wings. You're getting all that kind of stuff.
I'm getting right.
That's like my cheat day. When after the movie or right before the movie, that's like my cheat day. It's like I work so hard all week. I'm able to have 2 scoops of ice cream.
Snack. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. All right, we'll get kind of to the the third half of it, the rapid fire questions. 9 questions in 90 seconds. Okay. Brought to you by Florida Victorious. George, I didn't let you see the questions yet, but. We'll kind of get going. All right, question number 1. If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
I'll probably say super speed.
Super speed?
Yeah, super speed.
Super speed seems to be, Graham was wishing for it. Everyone wants to have the super speed. All right, who on the team would you not let date your daughter?
Who I wouldn't let date my daughter? Dang.
Miles said everybody. No one's dating my daughter. That's what he said.
That's a good one. I'll probably say LJ.
LJ McCray, putting him on the spot. Yeah. All right, favorite NFL DN in the NFL.
I like Myles Garrett. You know, I watch a lot of his stuff.
Beast mode. That guy's
he's a
guy's
beast, like,
an animal.
unstoppable.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame guy. Absolutely.
No doubt.
Yeah. Best Mike P moment. You know, I hear you guys. I know you guys are clowning around in there.
Yeah. It'd be like, you know, when we be in the meeting room and somebody might say something and he always like something like a little weird. Mm-hmm. He say that's y'all generation stuff.
Yeah.
He always, that's y'all generation stuff.
He swears
we don't know nothing about that. Like, come on now. Come on now, coach.
You know he was back in the day. He had a little weirdness to him. All right. You played in Northern Illinois. Now you get to play in the cold and the heat. Which you kind of prefer?
I like the heat.
The heat. I can't do the cold. It's getting a little chilly here now.
Yeah. It was actually hilarious. The Florida State game, I was laughing at y'all. Like,
really?
In my head, I'm like, this is so funny. I'm watching y'all walking around with latex gloves, hand warmers,
putting
long sleeves, tights.
Putting all the stuff on.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? It looked like y'all getting ready for a snow game, like a below a -degree game. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, this regular.
No, that's freezing to us. I mean, anything below 60, I'm hoodied up. I'm freezing.
Yeah.
All right. So, got to know what you're listening to on Gator Walk when you're walking down. You're playing with all this anger, getting fired up before the game. What do you kind of listen to get your mind out?
I like some G Herbo, you know, a little Dirk, you know, a little Foe. Some Chicago rappers, you know,
Chicago.
Chief Keef, yeah.
Okay,
you know, most of those.
That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
That craziness, that's the Chief Keef in the head.
Yeah.
All right, your go-to pickup line.
Okay. So, you know, I'm not one of those guys that's gonna like say like a corny line. I'm just like, hey,
you see the flag plant?
Yeah. I'm not gonna do nothing like that because like half the time I don't even want the woman to know I play football.
Okay.
So you know, hey, how you doing? What's your name?
Respectful.
You look good. You know, let me get your number so we can talk later. You know.
Okay.
Just something chill.
Boy, George Gumbs here. He's got it all. All right. Besides football, what's the one job you think that you'd be great at?
I think I'd be a good illustrator, like a sports analyst. Mm-hmm. You know. Somebody on TV. I always feel like I got a nice face and a nice voice to just sit and commentate and talk about sports and
kind
stuff.
of have fun with it. Yeah. It's like a stay around sports after sports kind of thing. Yeah, that's definitely something I want to do. So maybe we can get that going later on in the future.
No doubt.
But, you know, thanks again, George, for coming. You know, I love doing this kind of stuff, getting to know the athlete, letting other people know a little about it. Obviously, this isn't possible without Florida Victorious. That's episode 13. George Gumbs, thank you very much. Wingo out.
Yes, sir.